This is That Talking Podcast. I'm JJ Starr.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
Welcome, welcome. We're here to talk and bring some civil discourse to an otherwise discordant world. The world is quite discordant these days.
It sure is.
It's very, very, the discord is strong.
I've never been on Discord.
Right. Neither have I.
I don't think I want to.
I don't know what it is. Is it like Reddit?
Is it like Twitch? Is it a server? Is it a website?
You're just saying words that I couldn't define for you.
Blue,
but
green,
I truly don't
yellow?
know. I truly don't know what Discord is because I've never been on one. I know that people have them, but
you know,
like that means something.
Well, you know what else people have? Rules.
Do they?
They're supposed to.
We have rules here, we abide by rules. But yeah. So here in the bubble, we
wasting no time.
We have 3 rules for the sake of civility: no judgment, nothing personal, and don't be a dick. How are you?
I'm almost a 38-year-old man, and I spend my days off watching Power Rangers reruns. Life is good.
Watched a lot of Power Rangers today.
So my intent upon waking up and making coffee was to sit down and put on something totally different. But I opened YouTube, and there's a 24/7 like season 1 Power Rangers channel, and I just couldn't say no.
See, and I still don't understand that. You say it's a channel.
It's a channel on YouTube, yeah.
But is it like YouTube
It's a feed. TV? Yeah, it's a feed that's dedicated solely to season 1 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Streamed by YouTube.
Yes. They do it for other shows too, but you know, I mean
that's weird.
It's
like Pluto.
For me, it's like perpetually 1993 again, and it couldn't be better.
Is it just 1993?
So far, from what I've seen. Listen, 93 was an excellent year.
I remember
a lot
93.
of great things happened to me in 1993.
I was eaten by a dog.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, you would come to.
It wasn't a great time, but yeah, that's why everyone who knows my dog story knows that they are absolutely astounded that I, of all people, would be in the company of a dog regularly. And not only that, but I let her mouth near my face. Well, because that is the part of me that a dog tried to eat. Was in fact my face.
And you're the one who's always saying, it's like, it's okay. She kisses me. I'll get it to him eventually.
Yeah.
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 Because everyone knows how much I hate dog slobber, but, you know, I'll let her lick me because it's her.
Yeah.
I didn't even let Shorty lick me. Well, Shorty didn't lick.
Shorty didn't really lick, and Shorty had the most god-awful breath.
No, she didn't.
She did.
No.
She did. She was kind of a stink monster.
Well, we tried to keep him clean.
Yeah.
With those long, like, toothbrushing greenie bars. Yeah.
See, but she just gobbled it up.
We have a visitor.
We
Hello.
do?
Do you want in?
Hello.
Do you want in? You want in?
Nah, she's okay.
Go under the table? Here, come on.
She's okay.
Come on, sneak in.
She doesn't want to be under
Sneak
the
in.
table.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, she can come over here.
Has she been on camera yet?
Her voice has been on camera.
Right, but have we had her in an episode yet?
I don't think so.
Oh.
When we used to record in the bedroom, she would be in the midst of... We would rest the iPad on her while we recorded.
She's not doing it because they're not sending us enough money. Send us money.
Send us money.
On camera. I'll put her in a seat right next to me, I promise.
What do you want to talk about?
What do I want to talk about?
I know what you want to talk about, so just talk about it.
Okay, fine.
Go for it.
I'm really tired of all the bullshit going on in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I'm really fucking tired of it.
Are you tired of the bullshit going on in Minnesota, or are you tired of everyone talking about it?
Both, and in addition, I'm tired of the indoctrination of children, which has been going on for at least 60 years.
Well, let's unravel the whole thing. Tell the people.
Let me start from square one.
Yes,
square one is, I wanted to talk about this last week before. I wanted to at least give it honorable mention.
Right.
But because, you know, you're always erring on the side of like, let's keep it lighthearted. Let's talk about positive things.
It was the holidays. It's the end of the year and stuff. So it's like, let's end on a high note.
I don't really want to jump towards, you know, current events all the time, but they're so prevalent and they're so part of my daily cycle. It's just like, you know, I can see your point. Like, I'd rather talk about fucking Power Rangers. I'd rather talk about stuff that makes me happy. But this shit is going on. And as I pointed out to you earlier, you know, eventually it trickles down. Eventually it begins to affect us in ways that we don't wish for it to. Yeah. And that's really kind of an unfortunate pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, we haven't even mentioned it yet, but, you know, what we know is that a very unfortunate altercation took place between ICE and a civilian. Mm-hmm. What we know is that this woman was engaging in protesting activities.
Yeah.
They tried to detain her. She refused. She fled. They shot her. She's dead now.
That's very vague bullet points.
It is, but that's that's the meat and potatoes of it. She was blocking them from getting to a car. They grabbed her door handle, tried to detain her. She wasn't having any of it. Her wife, who was standing there filming and taunting them, told her to drive away. The only thing that's up for debate is, was her intent to ram an officer? Like that's what everyone's arguing about. It's like, did she intend to? Did she not intend to? What way was the wheel turned? Like, okay, we're going to take that out of the equation because that's neither here nor there. The reality is she didn't comply with officers' commands. Okay. Yeah. She wasn't exercising her First Amendment rights. She was just being a pain in the ass. You want to exercise your First Amendment rights, do it from the sidewalk, do it from somewhere else. Okay. And when they told her to get out of the car, she refused. She ignored a lawful order, drove off, and they shot her. Why did they shoot her? They feared for their safety. Okay? That's another thing that's been called into question. But bottom line is, both of these things could have been prevented. Okay? Yes. Her death could have been prevented. Her detainment could have been prevented. This whole thing, there was a dozen people out in the street fucking bitching and moaning about the fact that ICE was there. Okay?
Out in what street?
In Minnesota. Okay. Where they were looking for, illegal aliens, criminals, whoever. Okay. There's people out there. They're there to do a job. And like I've been saying since day one, let them do their fucking job and then let them leave. And then there's nothing to complain about anymore. Yeah. My gripe is the fact that there's this fucking bandwagon now because they're out doing what they were supposed to be doing, what their job is, what they're hired to do, what the government has ordered them to do. Okay. This is their line of work. They are to detain, investigate, prosecute, immigration crimes. And they're there and they're going to stay there. And what these fucking people who keep interjecting themselves into their proceedings don't understand is that the more you antagonize them, the more you come in droves to interfere with their processes, they're just going to send more.
I want to put a tiny pillow under your hand right now.
I'm Italian.
You sure are.
We talk with our anyway.
But that aside, yes.
Okay, this is me like getting passionate without getting heated.
I know, but my poor table.
There's a cloth there. It's fine. Okay. Do you have a retort?
I don't have a retort as much as I have my own set of observations on a situation like this.
I talked at length. Hit me with them.
You talked about how it's called into question whether or not the officer's safety was threatened. You said it's called into question which way she, what her intentions were. All of these things that are called into question. And I feel like they're being called into question by either side of the argument. There be these nitpicky details.
You've
right?
seen enough of the videos.
No, I haven't watched videos. No, because I don't want to.
So what do you know? Like what?
I know what people have been talking about.
Okay.
And people have been talking about it. But these nitpicky details that are called into question are becoming more and more significant because it is the only way for anyone to, for some reason, justify the outcome of this whole situation. And I don't believe that any outcome other than laws being abided by and everyone's safety being priority, those are the only outcomes that should be justified. The fact that people are trying to justify, oh, well, if she hadn't have, if she would have complied, she'd still be alive. Oh, well, if these officers weren't fascists, then, no one would have to deal. It's like, please. It's like the whole point is not to justify harm being done. Like, that's not the point, but everyone's trying to justify it to their own ends.
In the interests of looking at this from a common sense point of view.
Common sense, go for it.
Historically, any sort of, point of contention, I've always been told, we'll trace it back. Go back every step of the way and look at it logically. Okay? Now, if everybody were being really honest with themselves, they would come to the conclusion that if she hadn't blocked them, they wouldn't have tried to detain her. Okay? And if there were no crimes to investigate in Minnesota, they wouldn't be there. And then if they weren't there, there wouldn't be people filming with their phones. There wouldn't be news crews. There wouldn't be all this media attention. And if there wasn't all this media attention, then nobody would be talking about Minnesota.
I mean, that's just it. Is that the idea that this organization is like brand spanking new is so stupid.
All the videos now are making the rounds. All the videos of Obama, of Biden, of Clinton, of Bush Jr., all of them are coming up now where they're talking about immigration problems, where they're talking about employing ICE, where they're talking about the numbers of deportations that occurred under their administrations. But here's the thing. Most people that support the just live and let live aspect, these people are here, just let, most of them aren't criminals, let them live. They don't give a shit, because everyone I've talked to, particularly coworkers that are passionate about this, have looked at me and yelled at me, "You're not the government. You're not ICE. You're not the president." I go, I'm not saying I am, but these people broke the law or did something wrong, whether they let their visas expire or whether they came here illegally or whether they've engaged in criminal activity or whatever. They've given the government a reason to investigate. They've given them a reason to look into it. Mm-hmm. Okay? And like I said to the older boy earlier, I said, you know what? It's not really fair of these people to overstay their welcome or jump the line or do whatever it is they're doing when there's other people who are waiting in line, who are patiently waiting for their turn to come up. It's not fair to those people, and there's plenty of them, because everybody wants to come here, especially if they're trying to evade a corrupt government where it's not safe for them to stay. Yeah. Seeking asylum is well and good, and we historically have welcomed those people in droves. But again, if you're going to visit a foreign country, it's your job to assimilate to the laws and customs. It is not their job to cater to you. Just like if you and I were to go visit Spain, Italy, Portugal, Germany, any of these places, if the majority of the population speaks the native language, they're not going to start speaking English just for our benefit. Right. They're not going to cater to our sensibilities just because we're in a new territory.
They're also not going to necessarily forgive broken laws just because we're American.
Exactly. But everybody wants to look past all that because we're supposed to be the empathetic ones. We're so wealthy and we have all this and everything. It doesn't excuse the fact that people are guilty of wrongdoing.
The baseline is that the idea of live and let live, I'm all for it. But there's a problem with that philosophy with regards to immigration specifically. Everyone who is screaming, these people are here, they're not causing a problem, they're not doing anything wrong, just leave them alone. It's like, but they already did something wrong. That's crime zero. It's like you don't forgive that one just because they don't do anything bad after that. It's like, but they already did something they weren't supposed to do.
I tried illustrating this point to someone we both know a long time ago when we were having this discussion. I think it was prior to the election, and I'm just like, every single time, you've been with me inside the Danbury Hospital waiting room. Mm-hmm. It's a fucking shit show. Every time we had to go there for Dad, every time I was there sitting there waiting to be seen with him, the waiting room is just full of...
I remember one time we had to sit in the hallway.
For lack of a better word.
There wasn't even anywhere in the emergency room to sit.
Very, very disheveled, poor-looking people who probably aren't supposed to be there. Maybe that's an overjudgment of mine.
It could be.
But at the same time, there's all these people there that I'm willing to bet don't have a legitimate reason for being in an ER.
I am not going... Well, okay.
No, wait. I'm not finished with that. All right, okay. Because that's Danbury, okay? Our hospital is 3 minutes away. How many times have you seen that waiting room in the ER full?
Never.
Never.
So here's the thing about that specifically. okay, is that the emergency room, if you go to an emergency room, even without insurance,
they have to treat you.
They have to treat you.
Yeah, no, I get it.
That's why people they flock to that emergency room, because a lot of those people probably don't have insurance.
Big surprise. You come to this country, they passed Obamacare, right?
I mean, that's just
Where's
it.
your
Is
insurance?
that aren't we like mandated to have insurance?
Not anymore.
Oh, we're not?
We were.
Yeah.
They did away with that.
Oh, okay.
They did away with the penalty. But here's another thing. Okay, fine. That's the emergency room. What about our urgent care? Always full of people, always impossible to get into. Gee, I wonder why. Why are our streets congested? Why is everything backed up? Why is it impossible to get a prescription or an appointment or something, anywhere, anything? Because, and I've pointed this out to you a million times, there has been a tremendous influx of people into this town, let alone anywhere else.
Those people are from New York.
Not all of them. Not all of them. Not all of them. I have watched this town at least double in size over the last 15 years. It's insane. This used to be a quiet town with cheap taxes where people came to get away from, the more higher populated places. And it's not like that anymore because, there's certain types of people came here for the cheap taxes and, the spacious living to, not be on top. But now that's what they're doing. They're just creating a bigger problem and more congestion with all this affordable income, affordable housing and low income housing that they're building that people are trying to, protest against and whatnot. And it's just problem after problem after problem. And people aren't being very sensible about it.
Now, when I hear you, because I don't hear a lot of people with this particular complaint, truthfully. But when I hear you voicing this particular complaint about the congestion, for lack of a better word for it, the congestion, okay? The overabundance of people, certain types of people, and neither one of us, truthfully, neither one of us can say without a doubt, with
absolute
certainty that these people are illegal in any sense.
Right, because
we have absolutely no way of knowing.
We're not even allowed to inquire because that goes against their rights.
But that in and of itself, we do not know. You could think they all are, and you could be absolutely wrong.
But you know what?
What?
If they are, then they're not entitled to the same rights that we are. Because we're citizens and they're not.
But they could be.
Could be.
They could be.
Could be.
Because, just because we have a huge Brazilian population in this county, in Litchfield and Fairfield counties and everything, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're all illegal. It doesn't.
No, but 4 big Brazilian businesses did move into this town within the last 5 years.
Well, it makes sense because there are huge Brazilian populations around here.
Listen, it has nothing to do. I have nothing against the South American people, whether it's the Brazilians, the Mexicans, the Hondurans, the Puerto Ricans, the Cubans, whatever it is, okay? Have no problem, but I have a big problem with people bending the rules for thee and not for me, okay? And thinking they can get away with it just because they see themselves as a protected class.
Now, this whole thing, I don't know if it's been the last year, maybe, where we've been seeing ICE is like the hot button, where it's like it's on the tip of everybody's tongue, and everybody's got a complaint because it's happening everywhere. And it's this, that, it's all over the place and everything. And people are being raided and shot and raped and God knows what else and everything. That people, the rumor mill is churning out with no necessarily proven anythings. Okay. But it's on the tip of everyone's tongue and in the front of everyone's mind now. And this is the new issue that we the people march against.
It's the flavor of the week is really what it is.
Yes. This is the new, I think it's been about a year at this point that we've really been making a big deal out of it.
Tomorrow is a year since inauguration.
Okay.
Is today the...
That doesn't... No.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay.
It was the 20th.
Okay, well,
Today,
I don't think that was the kickoff for it.
Sure it was. Because that's when Trump got into office, and that's when he started making decisions that everybody was, vehemently against.
Anyway, that was not my point. But just generally speaking, this is, you're right, the flavor of the week. This is the thing we march against now. And you and I were talking about this because the older boy has taken it upon himself at 16 years old now, just a little over 16. He's almost 16 and a half at this point. And he has taken it upon himself, it seems, because he has not been loud about it until very recently, that he is now a part of this bandwagon. And he is the one reposting. He's one of those reposting, the outrage and everything like that. You had a conversation with him in which you afterwards came to me and you were very upset because he seems to be jumping on the bandwagon of unsubstantiated outrage. And you had talked about indoctrination with regards to the youth and everything like that. And you and I were talking, and I like to bring this up because when you and I had said to you that when you and I were 16, I don't remember being sort of, paraded out in front of these, what I would have considered adult issues. Well, I don't remember being paraded out in front of them or having them foisted upon me and being like, pick a side.
You were 16 in what, 2000, right?
I sure was.
Okay. And I was 16 in 04. All right. So it was under the Bush Jr. administration. Okay.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, 2000 and 2004, I remember overhearing things about what was going on, what people were complaining about, moves he was making, just lightly overhearing things in the news, but it didn't affect me. I didn't care. I didn't have a horse in the race. It's like, right. This doesn't directly affect my life, and it doesn't even indirectly affect my life. It's like, I've subsequently heard about it since, and things that went on, but again, it's in the past.
But it's just, it sort of sticks in my craw that this is something that the youth of America is supposed to be involved in. It's like, I can appreciate passion. I can appreciate concern and community well-being and things like that. But the whole idea that, teachers, parents, and whoever else, that these kids interact with on a regular basis, they are essentially, they're the ones introducing these topics.
Well, as I pointed out to you earlier,
or if not introducing them, they're perpetuating them.
Indoctrination of youth has been going on since Vietnam, and probably even before. Once somebody saw that it was a valuable tool to start, foisting your belief systems on young people while they're young, so that way they grow thinking how you think and feeling how you feel, and empathizing with your causes, that's going to stick with them. It's like I remember hearing about all that stuff. I remember hearing about the oppositions to the Iraq War and the involvement in Afghanistan and all that stuff. And I'm like, I just don't give a shit because I'm a 16-year-old kid and I want to enjoy my life. Why am I supposed to care? Oh, well, it's because of jihad this and Taliban that and Al-Qaeda this and that and the other thing. And it's just like, I really don't give a shit. You're all adults. You should be able to, handle your own problems in an adult-like manner.
But that's just it. Do you remember any adult telling you that you need to understand about this right now at 16 years old? You need to not only be understanding this, but you need to pick a side. You need to have an opinion. You need to form an opinion about this.
Yeah. My mother never did this. Dad tried to get us to care young. I'm sure he did it with my brothers. he didn't like once he realized that I just really didn't care, I think he kind of gave up, but he still would like take little jabs here and there, you know. And the thing is, I'd like to believe that just despite my position now, that I'm still the centrist I've always thought myself to be. Like I look at it from all sides. I just happen to lean right because I lean in the direction that, my perception of right and wrong is one of morality, is one of common sense, is one of justice, honor, equity, things that, people either turn a blind eye to nowadays or make fun of. They think it's something to laugh at. They think it's a punchline.
Yeah, what the hell is that all about?
It's people being really immature is what it is.
But why? Like, I don't...
Because it's in vogue to do it. It's in vogue to make fun of the seriousness of these situations.
Unless it warrants outrage, in which case, how dare you make a joke? Look, make any kind of little joke
all
about
I was
that.
telling the boy was, if you're gonna champion a cause, make sure that what you're reposting, you have credible sources attached to, okay? Don't post some influencer or some gamer or some fucking schmuck who's sitting in their gamer chair bitching about what's going on in Minnesota, from the top of their head without some credible source to back it up, because you're contributing to propaganda.
They have just played a game of telephone with what the rumor mill churns out.
Thank you.
That's all it is. And it is a game of telephone because that shit gets twisted up.
I don't want to have a gotcha moment with my own son.
Gotcha.
But he brought up a certain circumstance of ICE deporting some college student. And he gives me all the details. He's like, you can look it up. He's like, I do my research. I check these things before I post them. I was like, okay. I checked 3 different news sources. None of them were Fox News, mind you. Okay. I checked CNN, ABC, CBS. Okay. They all said the same thing. This girl was going to surprise her parents for Thanksgiving. She was home from college. She thought she was going to see them. She was shocked and awed and scared when they said her boarding pass on the plane was denied, and they detained her and pulled her aside. And then the next day, even though a federal judge attempted to block it, they deported her back to Honduras. And apparently she had a warrant out for her since 2015. But the case was put on hold in 2017.
She had a warrant?
She had an order for removal, because she came to the United States when she was 8 years old. And in 2015, that was in, I think, 2014. And then a year later, they put out an order for her removal because she was here illegally.
Okay.
So a couple months ago, they finally got to her. And again, all these news sources are trying to make their audience empathize with this person's situation. But again, if you're really honest with yourself, she broke the law. Even if she was 8 years old, she was obviously, brought here by somebody with bad intentions. Who knows who that may have been, whether it's her parents or a family or a friend or trafficked or whoever.
I mean, that's just it, I mean, but they don't explain the circumstances of that.
But from 2014 until 2025, no effort. I mean, at that point, she was already a legal adult, enjoyed the freedoms and the benefits that come with living here for all that time. And in none of
probably
that time,
including public schools.
Yeah. Made no efforts whatsoever to obtain paperwork, citizenship.
But still somehow managed to attend public school.
And so I'll get to that in a minute. But the boy is telling me that, trying to insist that I'm supposed to have a bleeding heart for this kid who broke the law. And it's just like, well, if you read enough news sources, enough credible news sources, and it's debatable.
It's tough. Yeah.
They're even saying, not all of them, but they're saying she had an order out since 2015. So it's like, okay, well, are you on the side of law and order? Or are you on the side of, well, we can, bypass this one because it's a special circumstance?
See, and that is just like, stop. Stop. Now, I've got plenty of sob stories. How many laws do I get to break?
Well, let's start making a list. Let's make a new list. But getting back to what you were saying, and I have firsthand experience with this. People still don't believe me when I tell this story, but I lived it. Okay? So I work for the government. Mm-hmm. All right? And I'm still technically the trainer. Okay. I've kind of nonchalantly kind of, rescinded that, but like, cause I just don't want,
a big middle
I don't want to do it anymore because I'm tired of training people that just end up leaving and going to another. Yeah. If they're going to send us somebody from an hour away, they're not staying with us. Okay. They're going to go where they live. But 2 trainees in a row. This was, I think, 2 years ago. Older Brazilian women, late 40s, early 50s. So it's like, why are you starting this at this point in your life? Like, why are you choosing this career path at this point in your life now anyway? Like, probably for the benefits, probably for, the paycheck, whatever it is. But it's just like, okay, it's my job to train you. I'm going to take you out. Both of them asked me who I was voting for. And I said, that's none of your business.
Rude.
And then told me that they hoped that Trump didn't get in because they were here illegally. Both of them.
Which is it's a weird piece of information to offer up to essentially a complete stranger.
And a federal employee at that.
Like, real weird.
To which I reiterated this message to my bosses, never mind the fact that these women couldn't drive for shit. And they did nothing about it either. And when I told the rest of my coworkers, like, how did these people even get hired? Don't you have to be a citizen to work for the government? It was always my understanding that's what it was, but I still trained them.
I mean, don't you have to submit
what? And one of them was fired for getting into a motor vehicle accident.
Yeah.
And the other, I don't know what happened to, hopefully, but it's just like, in my mind at the time, it's like, I don't care how desperate we are for help. I don't want you people in my office because you're not supposed to be here. Like, I think one of them said their visa expired and they were trying to like marry into the country, to some like rich guy that she'd been cleaning his house or something like that. I'm like, wow. Like, and the other one, I don't remember, but it's just like the fact that I'm even here talking to you right now, that it's my responsibility to help you get a federal job. Like, that's why I spoke up. And that says more about the fact that the people I told who were in charge did nothing either.
I still can't process that. I don't understand. I do not understand, and I never will understand how it is that these people get hired. Do they falsify their documentation?
Probably.
Or is their documentation like if they submit like an expired visa, is someone just looking at it and being like, okay, like,
I mean,
I don't understand that.
I don't know if it's just our industry or if it's society at large, because I remember like during and post, like right after COVID, everybody was scrambling to get people hired to work. And I'd never seen so many open applications for positions, and everywhere you go, like everyone's looking for, to hire. I'm like, this is insane. Like, I should have just waited a couple of years and I could have had the job that I really wanted. Like, but my best guess is that people were so desperate to staff to get to help their bottom line, that they just took. I mean, I still believe that our office will just take whoever they can get. Yeah. We don't hire quality. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if any of my coworkers are listening. There's some of you that I admire and respect, but most of you can go shove it, because we don't hire quality employees.
No,
we don't.
No.
It's just, you've heard me talk about this ad nauseum on this podcast. And most of you are citizens. I mean, if the illegals will work harder than you guys, fucking let's do a swap. Let's do a fucking swap.
Do an exchange program.
Yeah. I will happily
send us your hard workers.
12 of the hardest working illegal immigrants from all the drug cartel countries for all of my coworkers that fucking milk the system.
I have never, when it comes to the bullet point issues with regards to like election cycles and stuff like that, you've got what? You've got taxes, you've got immigration, you've got
all the regular,
the military and things like that. Yeah, all of the
defense
issues
spending.
Exactly, and all of the issues that are laid out in front of you, and it's what is your opinion on this? And every time, and since I was quite literally 18 years old, from the moment I could vote, it has always been, I do not have a single problem with immigrants. I don't have a problem with immigration at all.
We're products of immigrants.
Yeah. I have a problem with illegal immigration. because I don't think it's wrong to have a problem with it. Like, I don't like the fact that it exists. I don't like the fact, like, I don't like the idea of mandatory minimums for drug charges either. I don't like the fact that states have done away with the death penalty. That's a weird one we could get into at some point. But I don't like that illegal immigration is a problem.
I think you'll agree with this, that, I lost my train of thought. I was trying to let you finish.
Sorry.
It's I'm like, the public at large is not well informed on these things because the public doesn't want to be informed on these things. They want the easy solution. You and I included, we want to just be able to have the easy way out for everything. And that means that, if we can get away with doing the least amount of research possible, just enough to get us by, to get us to know, what's going on, who's involved, who's at fault, who's at right, but everyone has taken that a step too far because, first of all, nobody watches C-SPAN. Okay. Nobody keeps a watchful eye on, the crafting of laws, the literature, in the legislation, how things work. Like we just got, letters from, the Postal Service about, how the no taxes on tips and overtime is going to affect our tax returns going forward and our paychecks and this and that and the other thing. I guarantee not a one of my coworkers has looked at the legislation, has read it in depth, or could even tell you what, how to apply it appropriately, like how it's supposed to be applied, because we're not lawmakers. We don't work for we work for the government, but we're not up on that sort of stuff.
Right.
And it's never really written in layman's terms for people to be able to simply understand,
Right.
So you have to go a little further to educate yourself. And that's what I've tried to do in the last couple, not that I've wanted to, but it's like, I don't want to be left behind. I don't want to be uninformed. I don't want to be the last to find out, because I don't want somebody to tell me that I'm wrong or that I'm misinformed or that, I didn't do my research. I am absolutely guilty of doing what my son has done before, where I've posted without, researching or thinking.
Sure.
Or, I've spoken without thinking before. But the difference is that now I am making an effort to correct that, to not let that happen again.
Yeah.
But I'm now seeing him go down that path. And I told him, I said, it's going to make you look really unintelligent if you do something like that and you're wrong.
I think the worst thing that can happen to someone who is passionate about their soapbox is ending up having to admit that they were wrong about something.
This happened to me a couple of months ago. I had to admit that I was wrong on something I shared because it wasn't legitimate. Okay. I hate that I had to do it, but it was the right thing to do because I was wrong. And I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. But the goal going forward is to make sure that I'm not wrong again.
Not get caught with your pants down.
Well, again, if there's nothing to hide, like if you always tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory. Like if there's, it's the age old, situation of like, if you get stopped by a cop and you have nothing in the car, then let him search. What's he going to find? Nothing. If you're not breaking the law, if you're not doing something wrong, which is why now if I get stopped by a cop, I don't fucking care. Let him search my car all he wants. What's he going to do?
It makes me giggle a little bit because it just reminds me so much about, and I've told you stories about how my evil ex has more than once thrown fits about driving, oh, there's a cop, he's pulling up behind us and everything. And I'm just like, why? You're not doing anything wrong. And he's just like, I have pills on me. It's like, you have a valid prescription. And he's just like, it doesn't matter. And it's just like, yes, it does.
He thinks he's going to get attacked by the cops?
He thinks I don't know if he still thinks it because I haven't seen him in 5 years, but he used to be absolutely 5,000% convinced because he had to take his meds at certain times during the day. So he always wanted to make sure he had him on him. So yeah, he did a boo-boo and he would put like a pill in his wallet so that it was there. Now, yeah, you can't do that because it's a controlled substance, but he was 5,000% convinced that if he ever got like pulled over for having like a tail light out or something, he would automatically be arrested because a cop would, for no reason whatsoever, know that there was a pill in his wallet and would somehow, for no reason, get him out of the car, search everything, find his pill, and arrest him. And I'm just like, what do you think traffic stops are like? I'm like, that is the most paranoid thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's going to give, if you're that paranoid,
that's going
to give them reason to worry for their own safety.
Yeah.
And last I checked, cops are human beings too.
Yeah.
We don't have cyborgs
Most of
yet.
them, yeah.
Like,
except the robot cops outside of LaGuardia Airport.
Like, as sad as I am to admit this, 99% of the time that I've gotten in trouble with the law, it's because I did something stupid. It's because I was a dumb kid that made a dumb decision that had I thought twice, I would have been just fine.
Kids nowadays are...
See, now the public at large seems to think that cops are just out to kill us.
See, and not only is that being bandied about, that whole idea, but kids, teenagers are under the impression that they are untouchable. And it's giving them really big balls. It's giving them balls because they have this sense of just being invincible and impenetrable, and that they can do and say whatever they want. They are going to be the voice. They are going to be the outspoken. They're the ones who are going to bring justice. And it's like, you're a fucking kid. Sit the fuck down. And I will not begrudge anyone, no matter how young. I will not begrudge them their perspective, their opinion, or their passion for that matter. But this weird sense of
entitlement.
It's not even entitlement. It's an audacity. It's audacious.
Where do you think that comes from?
I don't know. I do not know where it comes from. I know what fuels it, and that's the media.
Well, that's what they're trying to do.
It is, in fact. It sounds like a conspiracy, but the fact of the matter is that the media gears its little blips because nobody reads the articles anymore. We've talked about this. They don't read the articles anymore. So it's like reading the headline is like reading a tweet used to be. You got 140 characters and you can hook a kid real easy with that. That's where they hit that. All they have to do to jump on the bandwagon is hit that repost. Instagram has made it 9 times easier now because now you don't even have to send it or share it. You just repost. You get a whole new list on your Instagram profile of all the things you want to repost so that it's now visible to everyone who's friends with you and followers of you. And it's just like the youth are, in fact, they are the loudest ones because they control the trends.
Let's go back to 1993 for a minute.
Oh, okay.
I remember being a kid. And my mother
I remember being a kid
telling me about the local police chief.
Why would he do?
He was a nice guy.
Aw.
And she would say, when you see him, you go say hello. You say, good to see you. You know, how was your day? How's it going? You know, give him a hug, give him a high five. Whatever.
Don't hug him.
Why not?
He's on duty.
I'm pretty sure my mother tutored his kids or something like that. But anyway, she's like, you know, make sure you say hello and be polite and respectful and this and that and the other thing. It was so long ago that person in particular, I mean, I remember his name, but I can't remember what he looked like. I can't, because I think he probably retired while I was still pretty young. But I remember other cops on the force. I remember I remember ones who gave me shit. I remember ones who got in trouble for their own indiscretions. Um, but I've always had respect for the badge, for the job, for what they have to go through, not only to get to that position and to go through their careers, but the kind of crap they have to put up with belligerent people on a regular basis, you know? And nowadays, that gets you called a bootlicker.
I have respect for anyone who does a job that either I cannot do or will not do.
But
I have a great respect for people who
that
do
pisses me off, that people say things like that, because, you know, when COVID was going on and there was all this defund the police nonsense, it's like, yeah, what happens when you actually need them then? What happens when you want them at a moment's notice and they're going to be like, well, fuck you. I mean, you know, we're obviously not important enough. We're not getting paid enough. And now, you know, there's less of us. You know, there's less people to attend to a community's worth of complaints. Like, why should we?
I equate that in a way with, and this is not to poo-poo, you know, the charitable aspect of what I'm about to mention, but it does, to my mind, I equate that with the idea of, like, you know, people being very vocal about the haves versus the have-nots, and, you know, how dare you have anything to complain about because you have everything handed to you. Your life is so easy. And then something goes wrong in their life and they're immediately crowdfunding and asking for charity and asking for help. And please help. I need to finance, you know, my surgery, my elective surgery in more than one occasion of people that I know and everything. And it's just like, you're asking for money. You're asking for people to pay for you. It's like, so you want things handed to you. When do we get to yell at you about it?
Like, I remember, you know, at the beginning of COVID, you know, somebody that I used to consider a friend, I've said this before, had said, you know, had informed me what the acronym ACAB was, you know, and I'm just like, that is so incredibly stupid. You don't even know half of these people and you're just going to label them all as bad actors. Like, one of my cousins is a cop. His nephew is now a cop. Like, I've known them my whole life. Nicest guys I've ever known. Couldn't possibly think of anything bad to say about either one of them. But now this bitch is going to fucking label them bastards just because she thinks that the job entitles you to be a prick, which is not true. Like, are there some people that abuse their position?
Sure.
There's people that abuse their positions no matter what field it is.
Yeah.
There's people that abuse their positions in my line of work. There's people that abuse their positions in retail. Like, at the lowest forms of employment, there's people that are going to abuse their positions.
Absolutely.
It just so happens that the people that are charged with our safety and protection and lawfulness, you know, they carry weapons, they have arresting powers, you know, but if you treat them like human beings, then you have nothing to worry about. Make them a friend instead of a foe. Make them, you know, comfortable instead of an adversary. Like, they're there to do a job. Leave them alone.
I've never understood that. I've never understood the whole idea.
They don't come to your place of business and kick the squeegee out of your hand.
Like, the whole idea of being so just flagrantly antagonistic. It's just like, if you, and it's not bootlicking. I'm not advocating for ass kissing or anything like that, but it's like, you do not have to go out of your way to antagonize someone, no matter what position they are in. If you disagree with them, if you disapprove of them, it does not matter. You do not have to go out of your way to antagonize them. That's where live and let live is supposed to come into play.
I will end with this.
Ooh.
The boy was talking about First Amendment rights. This Renee Good was exercising her First Amendment right to protest and blah, blah, blah. Okay. And I countered back with, she was interfering in a legal proceeding. Okay. She'd been there all day from what eyewitness reports account for. She, you know, was antagonizing these guys. She's blocking them from getting to their cars. I liken that to the prick who I've told you about before, who came to my office to film the lobby because
I think you mentioned this on the podcast.
he's a First Amendment auditor, quote unquote. There's tons of them now. Okay,
Ew.
they go around to public libraries, police stations, state trooper places, post offices, all federal buildings, and they wait for somebody to react to them. They film the lobbies, they film the common areas, they try to go in places they're not supposed to, and they start filming and they just wait. They wait for the reaction because they know it makes people uncomfortable. They understand that just because it is their right to film in certain places doesn't mean they should, because it makes everyone really, it puts on people on edge. Okay? So after this guy came to our office and caused a stir, I start looking him up and looking into his history. He's in the middle of a fight right now with a Connecticut State Trooper.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to lose.
Well, I hope so, considering how that story went.
So when I start looking at his videos, just before he came to see us, I find one of him at a traffic stop in Maryland. Okay? Cop pulls a guy over for speeding or whatever it is. He's there questioning the guy. This auditor comes up and starts filming, and the exchange went on for a couple of minutes, but the entire time the cop is saying, go to the sidewalk. Okay, you can film, but go on the sidewalk. You can't be right here, like, 2 feet away from me. You want to film, just do it over there. And the guy's arguing with him and saying it's my First Amendment right and blah, 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 blah. And eventually he got arrested. He's like, well, I got a good lawyer and I'm going to fight this and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to get your badge and all that other shit. I'm pretty sure he lost that too, because I'm pretty sure he needed to GoFundMe for legal fees. Anyway, the cop gave him an out. He's like, you want to protest? You want to film? You want to audit me and my job? Sure, just do it from over there.
Yeah.
Give me some fucking breathing room.
Yeah.
Just like Renee Good, if she wanted to protest what ICE was doing in Minneapolis, do it from the fucking sidewalk. Don't block traffic. Don't get involved. Yeah. And I say that to anyone and I've been saying this for years. This is why I don't attend protests. I don't care how passionate I am about it. As I've said many times from firearm training, we don't put ourselves in those situations. We don't want to lose our rights. We don't want to lose our weapons. We don't want to lose our lives. We don't want to lose our freedom. Okay? If we can evade, we evade. Dodge! Like, it's that simple. You know? Like,
yeah. It is that simple. I am nothing if not a true proponent for First Amendment rights, for freedom of speech, no matter what, for freedom of expression, no matter what. You have those rights the same as everyone else, because everyone else has them. But your rights are not being impinged on if you are asked by law enforcement to step back. That's not any kind of deterrent or impingement on your First Amendment rights.
Never mind the fact that they don't even have the common courtesy to just be like, okay, I'm going to be over here.
No one is going, like, no cop has the right to tell you can't say that. You can scream fuck the police in a cop's face, and it's not a crime. But if you are infringing on if you are in fact inhibiting an investigation or any sort of enforcement of the law, that is in fact something they can detain and arrest you for.
And that's fascism at its finest.
Like, the whole idea of...
That's a joke.
It's a joke. It's a little joke. But that's just it, is that I'm all for it, but what do I always tell you? No one has the right to tell you can't think, say, or do things, but prepare yourself for the consequences if you make those decisions.
Now, for all of the, the passionately rageful out there, why don't you actually do some research of your own and go look at the reasons why ICE was there in the first place? Okay? Because what else has been going on in the news is there's a lot of fraud and a lot of money that's missing in Minnesota. tied to people that shouldn't be there. Of course, that's not the way that the media will spin it, but there is a legitimate reason why they're there, doing investigations that just happen to lead to detentions and whatever else they're doing. But again, everyone's going to have their take on it. And I would encourage people to do your homework. Show me your work.
Show me your work. I like that. This was a good talk. It could go on and on and on.
Yeah.
It could. Our opinions are just that. They are our opinions. We do not make it our business to tell people what to think or how to feel about anything. I would hope this is how we feel.
I would hope that our discourse encourages people to act a little bit more responsibly, respectfully. I
think respectfully is a big thing. Because that's a big part of this, is that there is a big lack of respect with regards to situations like this. There's a big lack of respect. And I think part of that respect is, it is allowing for those freedoms.
Like right now, I get it. The kids, they don't like my take on what's going on. They probably won't but hopefully someday when they're a little older, they'll at least understand.
That's the crux right there. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like it, but respect the fact that there are differences. Respect people's differences.
Don't go killing me just because I think differently.
Like, that's just it. It's okay. This was the whole thing that we got into after Charlie Kirk died.
Yep.
Is that you should not have to fear having an opinion that is unpopular. Period.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. And it's okay. And it's okay for people out there, even the kids. It's okay for them to get on their soapboxes and scream at Twitch or whatever the fuck they do these days.
I thought you were going to say get on their soapbox racers.
And go downhill.
I never had one. I always wanted one.
Yeah. But that's just it, is that be responsible. When you have a voice, you have to be responsible with what you do with it. You have to be very conscientious of what you do with your voice.
And just like we're doing right now.
Exactly. And again, this is just our opinion. This is our opinion. You want the facts? Read a book.
This was a good talk.
Thank you out there in podcast land for tuning in. This is a big deal. All right. So again, please, if you have questions, concerns, comments, please feel free to email us, dtandyandjjstar@gmail.com. We will talk more about this if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You can find us on social media. We're on Instagram, dtandyandjjstar with 2 R's. You can also find Tax Collectors and Harlots, Coat of Arms Tattoo, and Love Hard Art. Love Hard Art will be at the Villain Arts Maine Tattoo Festival in Portland, Maine, February 27th, 28th, and March 1st. Come one, come all. March 1st is Sadie's birthday.
Awesome.
So bring cookies.
February 22nd.
February 22nd, yes.
Sunday. Yeah,
it is a Sunday.
5 p.m. at Sugar Hollow in Danbury, Connecticut. Tax Collectors and Harlots will be there. Our guitar player Nick's other band, Nerve Endings, will also be playing. I think they go on before that. Come one, come all to a Sunday matinee.
Is it in Danbury or Richfield?
No, it's Danbury.
It's in Danbury?
It's on the line, but
all right.
The old triangles for you who used to frequent that establishment.
But yeah, come out, have a good time with all of us. You can find all of us on Podbean. All of our episodes are streaming on Podbean. Please download, follow, like. We've gotten a couple of new followers, which are very exciting.
Get us into some new countries. We're in, 85 countries now?
85 countries
It's amazing.
now. I know. Worldwide, baby. And thank you again for listening. Please pass it along. But yes, download Podbean. And,
can you imagine if the foreign translators had to have a meeting with us one day just to try and get our inflections in a different language?
So YouTube now has enabled auto translate.
Right.
So like auto dub. And I've always, if we're ever in another country, we're going to have to listen to our videos.
I want to listen to our episodes in a different language.
I want to listen to it in a different language. It'd be very interesting. What else? Anything else? That's it?
That's a full lid.
That's a full lid. Thank you. And thanks again for the three of us at That Talking Podcast. I'm JJ Star.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
We'll talk to you later.